You all right, folks? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. What's the deal, YouTube? We're back. I'm back. I got my man's with me, masculine. Post up. I keep some tech guys with me. I ain't got D up here today with the CUDA cores. And I mean, if you guys would be so kind, like I said, hit the like button, share it out. Um, we're gonna cover this right quick. I'm not gonna be here too long, but it was a actually let me share my page with you guys in a minute. But it was a couple articles that then came out, and actually I can't. Can I hear my? Let me make sure I'm playing in the background because I can't even hear myself. Okay, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, am I loud enough to you guys in the live stream? Am I loud enough if you guys can hear me? Host, man, yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
You good? You good?
Okay,
You good?
okay,
You good?
all right, all right. Let me turn my shit up a little bit, man. You know what I mean? Next, I'm gonna get me a better mic. Basically, I think it's the cord. I'm gonna get me, but this is a snowball here. But I'm gonna get me one of those Yeti. Everybody said the Yeti's the truth. I'm gonna get me a Yeti when I get my hands some money. Right now, my man, a very little means. But anyway, I got 52 you guys watching. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody, my man, Zaire. He says Zaire that nigga. Yeah, what's going on, Kenya? What's going on, good brother? Listen. Let me tell you like this, right? Before we get started, E Hawkins, what's going on, baby? I got some stuff lined up for you guys, right? That is going to be this week right here on this channel right here. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I even did something that I would never do. I'm doing something that I would never do. You guys know me. I'm very old school. Very, very old school. I just want to say this right here. I'm very, very old school. At the end of the day, when I say I don't mean nobody no harm, like I've never been like I don't hate on nobody or anything. For somebody to go out of their way and do whatever about me, you ain't had to do me like that because I know me and I know my intentions, right? Forget all the weirdo stuff. You know, One Stop have said things about me in the past about my child, and that's neither here or there. But I know the Xbox community have a certain disdain for One Stop for gamers. I know you guys do, right? So what I'm doing for the culture, I'm going back on some of my values, some of my morals. And One Stop Head will be brought to the One Stop community, to the Xbox community this Friday. He's going to debate Post Up.
Adi.
Oh yeah.
Easy
One Stop
work.
for Gamer will debate Post Up this Friday here on the channel. So you're gonna want to be here this Friday.
Make sure y'all tune in. It's gonna go down.
Tune
It's
in for
gonna
that
go
body,
down, baby.
y'all gonna be here for his funeral. We gonna do the funeral march. The whole procession gonna happen. It's going down.
We're gonna put his body bag in a body bag, bro.
Yeah. So y'all been asking me to do them. Like I said, I used to do the debates all the time, and I'm keeping it funky. Sometimes I will have to tone it down because people wouldn't want to do it with me no more. People don't like to lose. I get one Joker's prop, Jabari. Jabari the only one would come out and do it with me. You know what I mean? But even with that, I can tone it down a little bit. Like you saw, I did the rated D's. I got what's my man RXL. You saw how I did Blackbuster Critic when I first hopped up on the scene. You know what I mean? Like it's real talk, right? Blackbuster Critic got everybody to bet on his channel, but the one with me. If I didn't do it the ghetto style, hit the record on Movie Maker, nobody ever would have seen me. I didn't own a lot of jokers out there. How you say? That's how I made my bones on the battle rap scene. You know what I mean? But people stop wanting to do it. So when I do these debates again, it's just for fun, and just for to have fun with it. But so One Stop for Gamers will be on my channel Friday. And Post Up is promising to rearrange this frame. Also, too, this Thursday, I got a rematch for you guys. K Mega is going to debate Jabari again this Thursday. You know what I mean?
K Mega and Jabari, bro. The rematch, the classic rematch.
Yeah, that's
you can only get this type of content here, baby.
Hit the like button.
Y'all tune in, man. Hit the
like button. Hit the like button. That's going to be this Thursday around 8:30. Jabari versus K Mega round 2. I'd like to give a shout out to those guys over there at GRG Podcast. I'll try to my man Canolis King. He just tweeted me that he got his shirt, man. That's what's up. Sent out the t-shirt. Well, so that's also to a shameless plug. If you guys are not following us on Twitter, Broadband Bullies, the Twitter account, follow that. I'm gonna leave the links. Start leaving the links down there. Hey, Halo Storm, you there? Whoever, somebody start leaving the links to the Sean Davis. What's going on, Sean Davis? What's up, baby? And he's also part of the Patreon supporters. I mean, like I said, yeah, we working, man. I'm working. I got a lot of stuff. Like I said, we got the website up and popping. We got the Discord up and popping. We got the website, Discord. We got the T-shirt, new T-shirts. We're doing a giveaway. Also, the giveaway. I can't leave the link.
Front too.
Also, I can't put the link here. What's up, Gemini? I can't put the link for whatever reason. Just let me put the link, but it will be in the first comment below this video. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video, and it automatically interests you in it. I don't pick the winner. Gleam does. So once you're notified if you did win, I guess I send you an email or send me an email, and I will send you the code for Star Wars Battlefront 2. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So like I said, repeat for those who are just joining. This is going to be a classic week, and this is all this in preparation for the Xbox One X.
Yeah, and not only that, he still haven't met Moss versus Super Jamaican.
Yeah,
we got 100 and 108 Dragons TV versus 2 ponies. We're not gonna name them right now. But
well, he said he want Porter Rock and somebody else, so we're gonna make him. So this week,
got a lineup for you, baby.
This Thursday, we got K Mega versus Jabari. That's gonna be Thursday. Following that, we got One Stop versus Post Up, 8:30 live, prime time. You know what I mean? And then Saturday, we're going to do, this is going to be Moss coming out party, Moss 2K with the Medicine versus Super Jamaican. You'll be seeing them in the comment section. You know what I mean? Talking kind of crazy. We brought him on yesterday at the end of the show. Not yesterday, was it Friday or whatever? But it is. Shout out to my man, Alex. He said he'll take somebody. Who you say you want to take on? I don't know, but anyway, like I said, we about to get the show. We about to get the show started. Letting you guys fill up here. Hit the like button, my man. What's up? Shout out to everybody in the chat. We about to. I'm done trusting DZ. No, I ain't even got D here with the CUDA course. But anyway, check it out. Right. I was gonna do a video on this yesterday. Why I didn't do it, I don't know. I want to do the audio, but then I had to do the exclusive show for the Patreon, the podcast, which is up if you're part of the Patreon. I did make it public for a little while for some people. You know, I mean, give away a free show. But if you didn't watch it, you're part of the Patreon. It's up there right now. Like I said, I'm gonna say this again, which is very important. If you guys, because I will say this, the team is growing. We're getting a lot of new talent. We got J Dot. Who else is just joining? We got a few people. You know what I mean? Just joining. And they don't have huge channels, huge brand. But one thing I can say in the day, next gen, I got an eye for talent. You know what I mean? And even if you're a live streamer, you know, if you just podcast shows, whatever, game reviews. You know what I mean? I need writers for the site. I'm telling you right now, get down with the support. If not, and like I said, we got a couple people like my man Bryant, my man Colas King. They just, you know, believed in with the vision. They didn't even ask for them because I got different tiers on the Patreon, what I'm giving away and this, that, and the other. And they didn't even want that, so I made it my business. At least send them a T-shirt. I didn't even get my own T-shirt. I sent them one first and make sure they can have theirs. This is where me again saying thank you. Also, too, my man Obi-Wan Plays. I will order your shirt tomorrow. That's another guy. It's my man too, Nintendo dude too. Rock that with me on the Patreon. I will be sending your T-shirt to you tomorrow, good brother. Yes, again, shout out my man. What just go? Even though he a weirdo, he rock out with Nintendo, but that's my man though. I got some. You know what's crazy? I got some unlikely friends that people don't even know they're friends with in the YouTube community, man. That's what I think is crazy, man. I mean, I'm a little bit of friends from the biggest to the smallest. Trust me when I tell you, man. You know that I'm right within in the YouTube community. But anyway, we're gonna get started right away. I mean, I'll go back to the chat. I'm gonna share my screen, right? Listen, if you want to get down, don't be shy. Go to the link, man. You can rock out with your boy. Let me bring the link up. You guys got the link in front of you guys. Let me share my screen, all right? Because a couple of things what this developer said, right? Something that I've been saying for a while, but who the hell am I, right? You know, it is what it is, right? I'll make sure let's make it a little bigger. Is it big enough? It's big enough, right? He says here, the Xbox One X performs like a high-end PC, devs say, right? Scroll down a little further. The Xbox One X is set to launches on November 7th, releasing alongside Super Lucky Tales, which is one of the first games designed to take full advantage of Microsoft's upcoming console. We have a chance to speak with Playful Corp CEO Paul Bettner to get the game's developer take on just how powerful this console is, the system is, all right? In our in-depth hardware-focused interview, this is very important, this interview wasn't really about the game, it was about the hardware, the specs, which we're going to get into that again. Better suggested the Xbox One X can deliver performance on par with a high-end PC and confirms that it's a console that's capable of delivering true 4K experience. One of the questions that he asked him there at GameSpot, and I'm not a biggest fan of GameSpot. It is, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. But let me hide this right here. He said, in terms of processing power, how much faster would you say the Xbox One X is over the Xbox One? If you guys had a chance to use the PlayStation 4 Pro, and you can compare it as well. But no, but check it out here. You see this line right here? It says it's probably the closest Microsoft's ever gotten to delivering a true high-end PC performance in a console type form factor. Mass, what is all this about? Talk to me. What does this mean?
So basically, he was talking about how the Xbox One is now. It's not even that it's on par. Is that they have now brought it to the point where the high-end PCs and the way that things are developed and played can now rise because of the Xbox One X. He's talking about how before, you know, there was such a large gap between PC and consoles that it made a lot of issues with pushing gaming forward as a whole, and how the Xbox One X has basically closed that gap, just simply based on the fact of how they designed it and the power they put into it. So he's not because he says in an article, he said it will perform based, you know, dependent on the game, somewhere in the realm of from a 1060 to a 1080. So people were saying directly a 1070, which puts it in the higher end of PC hardware, but it's all game dependent. But it's still that shows you that they basically put everything they could hardware wise into this system to make it as strong as possible and as forward processed as possible, which is the main thing, is that it'll help not just a console game, but it'll help PC gaming move forward because the architecture is all the same. So ease of development is ridiculously high, as well as the power for running the games themselves is ridiculously high.
Damn. Hey, Paul, what you got to say to that?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with Mass, the good brother Mass. I do want to elaborate on what he was saying. So basically, in terms in the past, in regards to some console systems, a lot of times when they hit the market, they was either at least a year or 2 years behind the PC. But not only that, in terms of the architecture, they was powerful, but some of the decisions that was made within the system prevented the consoles themselves from reaching their full potential. So the hardware kind of got in the way of the game development. And he's saying we don't have that with the X. So for example, if you look at the 360 era, the 360 had a triple core processor, Power PC, which ran 3.2 gigahertz per core with 2 threads per core, equaling up to 6 threads. You had the 512 megabytes of memory, and then which was unified from like it was with the OG, and then you had the unified shaders on the GPU. But the thing that was wrong with the 360 is that majority, if not all, of the audio was dependent on the CPU. So even though developers had access to those 6 threads, the audio was taking up about 3 or 4 of those threads, and then the games had at least 1 or 2, if that, 2 threads to work with as far as the games themselves. So that created that kind of hindered the 360 in that aspect. And I understand now why Microsoft decided to make a separate chip in regards to the shape audio chip that's on the Xbox One and the S, and I'm pretty sure it's in the X, which it got beefed up in the X. I understand now why they created that, to take some of that audio processing off the CPU to free it up, so they wouldn't run into issues like they did with the 360.
Oh. Well, again, now for the, I guess, for the not so tech savvy guy, right? Mm-hmm. I used to this was what was told to me, right? And I knew nothing about this or whatever. But there was an article from I forgot what's the guy name that did what's the famous developer name that made did he do Doom? What's the guy's name? Jesus Christ.
Don Carmack?
Yeah, him, Carmack. Is that the same Carmack from Avatar? Is that the same guy?
No.
Okay, but anyway, Carmack. Anyway, he said and then it was explained to me a little bit more in depth by somebody, you know, that I know within the industry.
Yeah.
And he said that, you know, if you take a console with the same
given spec
as a piece of you know, whatever, or a little more, a little beyond, right? And I really didn't know what that meant, or more or less, but I remember that, you know, how Steam does their surveys, right? Steam does their surveys, and 2012, believe it or not, the Wii U. You guys can Google and find it if you want. The Wii U, and we all know how anemic that was actually more powerful than, you know, a lot of people's rigs. Like, you know what I mean, on that survey, and it blew my mind. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? And people, you have to understand this, right? Not the people that be here, you know, complaining. I got the GTX 59 dash, you know, that thing. You know, how my man Maker say got that GTX 1050 248. Those are what you call the casual, you know what I mean, or what more or less. Or they what else? It was a very, and those people there have PC just to play the better version of the multiplex, right? But the bigger people are, you know, the majority of people are just playing things so 1080. You know, you look at one of the biggest petitions there on Rare was to have the game Sea of Thieves run at 540p.
Yeah,
that's the majority of the PC gamers. But just because, and this was a friend of mine explained to me. So just because you have at the time it was a 980, you have a 980, right? And at the time that was a real pretty powerful GPU. Just because you have a 980, not all of that is for gaming. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have something which is like Windows or whatever it is. It's a system resource hog. You know what I mean? And just like you said, look like if it's just probably us talking on Skype right here, and you got YouTube and you hit Control Alt Delete, and you see how much CPU usage is being used, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
A console, and this what you say, a closed environment, doesn't need all those applications. So everything more or less is in the console is made for gaming, more or less, right? Or look at it like this, right? And to break it even better, right? Developers, which is called optimism, they know what's in every box. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, here on PC, you may have a 1080, he has a 1070, you have 16 gigs of RAM, he has 32 gigs of RAM. You know what I mean? It's, you know, there's a limited amount of options. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of big high profile games. What's that Batman Arkham Knight? Remember that came out, ran horrible on PC. You know what I mean? It was better optimized for consoles. But and people, when I say this, right, and I remember I did a video last year at the E3 when Project Scorpio was announced, and I remember I did a video and I said that the Scorpio was going to outperform. It's going to dance circles around a lot of people's rigs. You know what I mean? And you had my man, and I don't have a problem with the weirdo rags, even though I think he says a bunch of racist stuff. He always hopping up my live stream. I think the dude is a fan of mine, but I think he got the hots for me, weirdo ass dude. But he did this half-hour documentary about me and saying how I was wrong, or my. And if you listen to what I said, I didn't say that the X will outperform a GTX 1080 or whatever the case may be. But I'm just talking about as far as optimization wise. If you, I don't care. I will make a $500 bet right now, right? With anybody, I'll give you a gift card to Best Buy, Amazon, or whatever the case may be, right? If you can find me a PC, right, 6 gigs, 60 flop, maybe a little bit more, right, and stack up A's on cost you $1,500, but that's neither here nor there. I can guarantee you that the X would dance circles around that. The standard premium PlayStation 4, which is what 1.8 flops, dances circles around a lot of people rigs. Why? Because of optimization.
Right. It's a singular spec. Like, you gotta think, if every developer on the planet just has to make it for one rig, you wouldn't need recommended specs, you wouldn't need minimum specs. None of those would exist if you're only making it for one single set of parameters. And that's essentially what consoles are, is one single set of parameters. You know exactly what you can and cannot get from them, and you can scale that way. So it's not even just about putting the game on here and then tuning it. It is more so you put the entire game on there, then you scale it down. And the thing about the X, because of how it was made, was that scale down isn't so drastic.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're
Exactly.
doing all the textures because a lot of these games nowadays are GPU heavy. So since they are GPU heavy, because the GPUs are getting stronger, you know, they're starting to put out stronger CPUs too, after like, you know, years of having such a set parameter for the movement in GPUs or CPUs. I'm sorry, the movement in CPUs, with AMD coming with Ryzen and Threadripper and forcing Intel to step their damn game up. They have now created a fluctuation point where, since everything was so stagnant in CPU games, the dude, and since CPU was so stagnant,
done it again.
right, in CPU games, the GPU, you know, has its own set of parameters where it goes a certain direction. Like it provides a certain you know, direct line for how these games are produced now. And the X being so GPU heavy and providing them such overhead allows them to take a lot of strain off the CPU and add it to the games, and it allows them to move a lot of, you know, assets and small render factors to the GPU, so it even takes even less, you know, strain off of the CPU. Also, with the memory bandwidth, it allows them to move that information quickly. So even if there is an allocation for CPU usage, it can be offloaded or it can be onboarded and then offloaded quickly. So that allows even more CPU utilization speed, which is pretty much what it needs. Exactly. And that's what the X has provided, a singular space for them to focus in and do that.
Exactly. And to further elaborate on what the great points that Mass was making, he even said it in the article itself, in regards to when they first transferred the game over from the PC to the X. You know, he had the mindset of how consoles were in the past, where you had to drastically scale down. Once you brought things over from the PC, they had to drastically scale things down to cater to whatever hardware specs they was dealing with at that time. In this case, with the X, they had to do very little. He stated in regards from when they moved it over from the PC to the X and getting it to run at 4K and 60, he said it was one of the most easiest things they done in a long time. So hardware on top of the tools that Microsoft re-optimized as well, because they caught flack from developers with the Xbox One about them taking a step back in regards to the tools they provided in comparison to what they provided in the 360 era. So they took a step back in that way too. So, but in here, he's saying, look, this thing is a beast. It's a lot faster. We don't have to scale down that much when we bring in all of our assets over to the PC. And you're right. We do have a closed box, a managed system, where we can control everything that happens. We don't have to worry about multiple GPUs. We don't have to worry about development games for the lowest common denominator all the way on up. We just got this one spec, and we, like Matt said, we know what it's not capable of doing. But since we know what it's not capable of doing, that forces us to find other tricks and optimizations to get those things that we can't do done. And that's what the console do. And that's why I give you that double the power, because they forced to think how to squeeze as much power out of that box as they can.
Right, because it's people out here, they putting out these builds that have, you know, hardware that is undoubtedly going to have to be upgraded in the next 6 months. You know, you put this old Dell system, put a GPU in it, and it'll run games a certain way. Sure, but that hardware will be outdated in 6 months, and new games won't be playing it. But that's one of the things you don't have to worry about with consoles, is that all the specs are designed for consoles because these games are on consoles. So like people putting out these videos where you can scratch by with the bare minimum and, you know, get you a system that'll run X game at medium to high settings above 60 FPS. That's all cool, but that doesn't future-proof your system. And a console is future-proof, basically built in because all these developers make games for consoles, and they will continue to do so. They're not going to keep making games for the PC hardware that's outdated. And this is coming from a PC guy. They will eventually just move on, and you will cross under that minimum threshold for a lot of games. And that's the downside with all these people that keep making these, build this Xbox One X killer for $600. It'll be outdated, and you won't be able to play Anthem or something next year because your system is now, you know, scratching at the surface of what the minimum specs are.
And understand this, and Mass alluded to this earlier. It depends on the software. So we're not saying this for every game, because all developers don't code or develop things the same in regards to how they build their game. What he's specifically saying in this article is that if a developer, depending on the software that they're creating, if they optimize that software to the best of their ability in regards to the specs that's given in the X, you can get high-end PC-like performance out of that software. Now, will that be in every game? No. It depends on how much time and effort the developers put into optimizing their software for this system. But he basically saying, if you go in there and you do what you got to do, you should be capable of getting high-end PC-like performance out of the X.
Right. And it's all about whether or not the individual developer takes advantage of it. And the way it seems is that the X was not only just designed for it to be, you know, run all these things at a certain speed and, you know, a certain resolution with certain amount of graphical powers. It was designed so that it makes this all easiest as it can be for the developer.
Facts.
And that's the main thing. The reason the PS4 Pro hasn't gotten the support that the X has gotten is simply because it is making the PS4, the developers have to code for the PS4 Pro specifically. They're not coding for the PS4, or they're not coding for their PCs, which is what actually happens. They make a game on PC and then move it to the console and put it together, test it, do that whole thing. And that's why the X development kits had the little fast transfer port, because that's a thing that happens all the time. Yeah. So they're not coding for one platform. They're coding for PS4, and then they got a code specifically for the Pro to give it enhancements. The difference with how Microsoft approached it is you code for the Xbox One X, and literally you just turn down the settings because it's all one continuous thing. So
coming from the PC, well, you
go from the PC to the Xbox One X, turn down whatever you need to. So you turn down the LOD here, you turn down, you know, the AO here, whatever it may be. You turn down whatever you need to, and then you're like, oh, it's stable here. Boom, this is our starting point for us to optimize. It's not so much them going, I need to pull all this down and then bring it up to where I need to go. Is I'm already here on PC. I turn it down till it's stable. Once it's stable, I can optimize for this single platform. And now you turn it down a little more for the X, done. And it's one continuous thing, and it's easy for them to do. The ease of making it the best it can be on the X is what's allowing them to have so much Xbox One X support going into launch. And that was the same thing that happened with the PS4 at launch. It was easier to develop for. Everybody went with the whole 50% power, more power. But what the dude actually said was 50% easier to develop for. That's what he said, because it provided an easy path from A to B, from them getting their x86 stuff on PC to PS4. Microsoft has made it so it's basically even easier than that, and it's more or less, quote unquote, copy and paste than it's ever been.
Yep.
And that's the advantage the X has.
Yeah.
Dang, all that. Hold on. Let me go back to my my screen. And also, too, shout out. We just got another Patreon supporter. It just popped up on my phone. Let me give you a shout out as we're going live here. Hold on 1 second.
Alex, once the X gets all the power, you play games just like everybody else. Play the same shit you're gonna play.
My man here, Daddy. Jesus Christ, brother.
You called another man Daddy. Pause.
Let me tell you something. The foundation has been set. Okay.
Right.
X is the foundation. Now that that foundation has been set, software wise, you can go out and start getting more software on the system now, since you know at this point it's clearly at this point the S and the X at this point. And you know everything is gonna start at the probably PC, run down to the X, and then the X dev system is the X and the Xbox One, because they have it where you can be able to hit one button on the X dev kit and it'll automatically emulate an Xbox One S. So
Right.
they don't need multiple dev kits, they just need that dev kits. But X is pretty much the foundation from this point on. So all these people trying to clown about software, believe me, it's gonna come. When we might don't know, but when it do come, you guys gonna have some problems.
It's not even just that. The software at this point in time, like, you got to think of the X shortening development cycles.
Yeah,
That's the main. That's the part people aren't seeing, is that the X being such a lateral constraint from Xbox to PC to Xbox One S, the way they designed that development kit and the XDKs they're putting out, it being such a lateral move and literally adjusting this knob and this knob and this knob till it's stable.
yeah,
that shortens development cycles so much and allows for further optimization, and for games that are specifically going to be made for Xbox, it'll shorten those development times, because it's not them going back and forth and trying to make something work across multiple constraints. Is them literally saying this works here, it also works here and here. All we got to do is turn the switch down.
Yeah, like, whenever you have developers saying, you know, they transferred their games over to the X and they just worked, you know, and that wasn't for all, but you did have a few developers out there that say, hey, we transfer our system, and it was just automatically already running at 4K 60. That tends to give them more time to not deal with architecture issues like they had to do in the past, but it gives them more time to focus on optimizing the game instead of worrying about some deficiencies that might be preventing them from doing certain things they want to do with the game. They don't have to worry about the hardware now, because the hardware does what it does. They can just focus on optimizing the game, and that's better for us, because that means at some point we're going to start getting more optimized and better software and games running better on the X.
All right, well, like I said, I'm gonna scroll down a little bit down. You guys did a job. You might put D on it. D used to be my go-to tech guy. I don't know with them CUDA cores, man. I lost 15 subs messing with D with them CUDA cores, man. and that 4K Nintendo Switch come with the 4K dock. I lost 30 subs behind that one right there.
And I just want to say this once again: we're not saying the X.
Yeah, thank you.
Better
coming with you.
or outperforming high-end PCs. We're not saying that. No, we're saying that if the developers do what they have to do, it can get close to that type of performance. Okay, PC will always be king. You know,
it's always going to be king. PC is always going to outperform, and until they focus on frames per second, graphics, and 4K resolution, that is going to be their primary focus. So as far as graphics are concerned, and as far as how the game will visually look, it'll perform the same as those cards, because you get a lot of lower end cards that perform that have a higher range value, but they're playing these games at 4K, quote unquote, 60 at low settings for a lot of these things, or medium settings for a lot of these things. We're not saying that the X is comparable to a 1080 Ti or nothing crazy like that, because we know for a fact that's exactly what is going to happen. You're going to say that we said it outperforms.
But let's check it out. Right, this leads me to my next thing that I wanted to say, which is the most important part of the article here. It says, as it pertains to PC, what GPU do you think is most closely aligned with? He said that's hard to say. We haven't directly compared it, and you know, so many things working is very dependent on the game. Some games are initial GPU bound, well down to duty part. He says here, CPU and GPU at the same time. It's really hard to tell. Actually, it depends on the game. It's definitely within the realms of NVIDIA's 10 series cards, ranging from a 1060 to a 1080 in terms of performance. Talking about in the console. You know what I mean?
And that's crazy. And that's why I said it will not only push console gaming forward, but it'll help with developers not being as scared to make different set values. Shout out to Xavier Bay for the $10. Appreciate you.
Oh, shout out to you.
Shout out, Bay. I mean Xavier Bay. I'm calling this over Bay.
Pause again. He called the man daddy. You calling this dude Bay? It's crazy. I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Hey, we don't have to cut this out.
I ain't got nothing to do with that. But he's telling you that it'll help that to push all gaming forward because developers will not be scared to utilize the hardware they have on hand. And that's even in consoles. It'll allow them to see consoles in a different light. Before it was PC is PC, console has its own constraints, and they develop them in different ways. Now it's all one thing with everything being x86 and with the X having the hardware inside of it to compete more on par with a lot of these PC systems. At least as far as graphical settings, that will allow them to push new things, to push things farther, to make worlds more expansive, more detailed. That is what the X provides. It provides a starting point for not just Xbox developers, but for all developers on all platforms, because it now says that consoles have the hardware capable of you utilizing them for your game the best they can.
Because you're removing like even in the terms of PC, you have the operating system, you have the resources, and a lot of operating systems are resource heavy depending on which operating you run. You got the resources from that you're dealing with that takes away from the GPU on the PCU, that architecture to run at its full potential. And that's why you see a lot of times where but people with high-end PCs, they'll put they'll go for the powerful GPUs, or they'll put it in slab mode and do dual GPUs or triple or quad GPUs. Or sometimes in certain cases they have to brute force their way to a certain type of performance. But with the X, you don't have to deal with OS operating system resources interfering, because it's a controlled environment, and Microsoft is able to control what gets what at a specific time. So if this game is running, the operating system is null and void at this point. We want to push all resources to that game. Also, back in the past, in the era prior to the OG Xbox, a lot of consoles, if not all of them, didn't have operating systems. So developers was coding straight to the metal. And what I mean by coding straight to the metal is that it's you pretty much can create your own custom APIs to take advantage of that hardware, to tell it to do whatever you want it to do. Whether opposed to having an operating system there, which got an API under there, which issues the commands for that particular hardware that you're trying to juice or get something out of. So that's another reason why you get that extra boost from the consoles, because it has the ability and things that's not in this way that the PC might have in this way.
Yeah, it's crazy how people are either incensed by the Xbox One X being strong, or they're lethargic. And what I mean by lethargic is they're it can't do X, Y, and Z. Like, instead of talking about what it can do and how it helps the gaming industry as a whole, they'd rather say what they think it can't do and then be proven wrong the next damn week.
Yeah, I know.
we was hearing it won't do 4K. It's gonna be $800. Like all this garbage before it came out, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it won't do 4K 60. Then you get, oh, here's a 4K 60 game. Well, it can only do that game 4K 60. Here goes another one. Oh, it can only do that one.
It can't do open world.
What about an open world game with my mama playing in the background, like while I'm running a marathon? Like, stop with the stipulations. It can't do it. Just let it go.
Right. I want to say two things. First of all, and shout out to my man Bay. He said to bring him on the show. I'm asking you, like, what do you want to do? I've been asking you, but I don't mind. I don't have. I'm looking, bro. You wanted to, if you're talking about the debate thing as far as the Moors and stuff, I ain't got nobody for you right there. But if you want to come talk about some games and or whatever, bro, you're more than welcome to join the show, whatever. Like you said, you always support. And second thing, three things I want to say. I'm gonna take a DB. My man Johnny Bogas. First of all, thank you for rocking out. Right? He said, "Why would you send someone money or debate? YouTubers get money from ads. First of all, I don't get any ads. I don't get any money from that." At all, you know what I mean?
People don't understand how YouTube work. People who make that comment don't understand how YouTube work.
Secondly, you know what I mean? And again, everything 9 times out of 10, when you see me do these live streams, or for whatever reason, their mine are marked yellow for demonetization, for whatever the case, and I have to appeal it. And if it does go green, it maybe go 3 days later. So by the time a video makes its most, I'm going to make off ads within the first 2 days. So by the time my thing does go green, the video, you know what I mean, it is at its top of whatever it's going to do. So that's neither here or there. So I don't get any money. It's not even like that, my man. But like I said, when I do these shows here,
fun, bro.
I do it. I enjoy it. I don't get any money from this. It's just nothing. And I enjoy doing live streams and bugging out with you guys more than I do a video. Like, you know what I mean? So if you didn't, and no disrespect, maybe you didn't know. But anyway.
Super Lucky Tales. Man. Yes, I want to talk about Super Lucky Tales. Yes. I know a lot of people try to use that game to downplay the X. Look, there's nothing wrong with that game. That game is for children and grown people, because if an adult can walk in the store and buy Mario or buy an RPG with 3 girl characters in school girl uniforms and enjoy them, then somebody who has an Xbox One X can walk in GameStop and purchase Super Lucky Tales and enjoy it. People have been playing Mario, what's that, Pikachu, and all these games for years and don't get clowned. And then Microsoft brings out Super Lucky Tale, which runs at 4K 60, might I add. And they use it to downplay it like it's not a good game. It might turn out to be a great game. It might not be for you, but it might be for somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And this the crazy thing. This games as a whole are subjective. I don't give a damn what a single review or Metacritic score says.
Yeah.
If I like a game, I like a game. There's been plenty of games that everyone loves and I despise with a passion. There's games that I love and everyone hates. That's all up to you. Whatever you enjoy is what you enjoy.
I do not rock with reviews.
It ain't fun to him. You hop off a cliff with that garbage.
I do not rock with reviewers, man. And it's crazy because I learned the hard way, because if you take a game like Fusion Frenzy, which got a low score, I think it got in the 1s or some 2s or 3s like that. Game is man, bro, the most fun I've had. Man, Twisted System to this day. People buy that game just to play that one map. But as a party game, System Link, back in the day on the OG, that game was super fun. And people still remember to this day. Reviewers said it was trash. But that's from their perspective. That was you. It was trash to you. But when I got my hands on it, it was super fun to me, bro.
All right. So Jeremy Freeman said it performed nothing like a high-end PC. I know I built them. You got an Xbox One X? You've opened up an Xbox One X? You've built an Xbox One X? I build the high-end PCs all the time. I build like 2 or 3 a week. So I've also developed games. So we can have this conversation. So,
and they ain't even know, Maz.
Right. They ain't even know you developed. Like everybody come in here and be like, Maz is an Xbox fanboy. My primary platform is PC.
And listen to what he said. He developed.
Right. I've developed games. I've coded games. So and I've coded big games. But again, Like that, like I said, this is all about. This is all about.
Matt, you got to keep some of that.
You being mad about it.
We gonna fall.
Matt, you giving too much. But here's the thing, right? Real talk. Let me ask you guys a question.
Yeah,
let me. No, but you told him too much. I wouldn't give him that much.
All right, my bad.
No. Check it out, right? That's what sometimes guys believe. Nothing what you hear and half of what you see, right? All the time, right? Let me ask you a question, right? So we talking about at a minimum 6 T flop, which I think is 6. The Xbox One X is 6.1 T flops. 9 was 12 gigabytes of RAM, 9.5 allocated for gaming at 326 gigabytes per second. Now I have this is what I wanted to do the video about, and I had this and I forgot. Hold on, I got sent a chart, and I want you guys to break this down for me. But let me ask you a question, right? In terms of GPUs that are on the market right now, right? What you can, GPU wise, here you go right here. I'm gonna share my screen now. In terms of GPU wise, right? What is about 6 T flops on a PC side of things? What GPU? From NVIDIA, maybe even AMD.
You talking about just straight up
6 T flops, yeah.
Because
6 T flops.
This is the thing. 6 teraflops. But the number is semi-theoretical.
It's a theoretical. It's theoretical performance.
Right, because like the number means nothing. Like there's a lot of 3.5. Like the 4s, 10. 1060s and stuff are in that area. 970s. Like the problem is that people see that number and go with that number, but doesn't know what that number means.
Yeah. And it's just a theoretical number to gouge the performance, because it's kind of hard to, and that's why it's theoretical, because it's so much that comes into play in regards to a GPU performing up to its optimum or full potential. And even when looking at the teraflop number, you can say, hey, you got a 10 gig, you got a GPU that does 10 teraflops, right? But it reaching that 10 teraflops, 100% of that 10 teraflops, a lot has to come into play, meaning the memory bandwidth, the motherboard, the bus bandwidth on the motherboard, the CPU, the megahertz from the CPU. I mean, everything all coming together, because that GPU has to constantly be fed. So if I got a CPU that is a 4 gigahertz, right? And then I got the bandwidth on my bus, on my motherboard, which is the little paths you see on your motherboard that the data run down. That's what I mean by bus speed. That's what I'm talking about in terms of bus. If my bus speed is lower than the output of my CPU, it's a daggone bottleneck, because my CPU is pushing it out faster than the bus can get it across to the other devices. And so you have people who go into stores. They say, okay, that CPU dope, that GPU dope. And then they'll take little things like that into perspective. So memory, all that stuff comes.
Because even for the same given spec, like you can buy a 1060 and a 1060 with a gaming that has a higher output threshold. They're the same exact card. It's just one is specifically designed to lower back-end processes on, during certain performance strengths. So you'll have a push on one side and a pull on the other side, which will balance it more towards gaming operations. And it's just because that's how they designed it. That's how the chipset was put together to streamline one end or the other. So, the floating point operations and all that stuff, it's all theoretical. Like that's why I hate when people go for that. And the only reason Microsoft and PlayStation have done it is because no one knows what the hell it means.
And it's it's another marketing term.
It's a marketing suffix.
Instead of having to get real.
All right, let me ask you a question. You guys see my screen, right? You see my screen?
Okay,
let me see. Yeah.
All All right, so in column 1, we got the Xbox One S, the PlayStation 4, PS4 Pro, Xbox One X, a GTX 1060, a GTX 1070, and an RX 580, right?
Yeah.
Now you got the memory bandwidth gigabytes per second for each card. I mean, for each I'm sorry, system. Pixel rate, texture rate, T-flops, compute unit wraps. You know what this stuff is right there.
Yeah,
now, glance over this, and listen, I'm gonna put them in right here. We're talking about the X, right? And these are the two we're gonna talk about. We forget the PS4 and the Xbox, whatever it is. We know it's a big, huge jump, right? Mm-hmm. But between these two, and like, just look at this, like just like look at it. Talk. What does this mean?
Z going there. Oh man. hey, Z going there.
But this is the problem with these lists, right? This is the problem with these lists. We don't know, like the consoles are APUs. They're all integrated into a single platform, like for movement. I don't know what these other things are paired with, because these numbers over here are all theoretical. If you're running with this exact thing, this is its peak performance. Well, but the problem is they can all be changed depending on settings, how high you.
No, I'm talking about straight stock out of the box. This now listen. I ain't trying to be spooky here. Now this was given to me by a certain individual.
Going there.
Now listen, I ain't want to listen. PC guys, calm down. Listen. Okay?
I am a PC.
But, this came from a certain. Listen. This party shall remain nameless. Okay. Now this is not no fudgery. This party shall remain nameless. I tell you, Nick should know some people that know some people, right? I want you to look at this, right? So I remember, and I could have put this out last year or so, but I didn't. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But I sat on this for a while, and I actually know what's crazy. I'm gonna bring up my thumbnail. Give me a second. I'll bring up my thumbnails. Find my thumbnails. I'm gonna show you something, right? Because I even had the thumbnail for the video that I was going to do. Look, I'm gonna show you the thumbnail, right? I was saving it for D.
He trying to get us right out the block.
No, I'm getting funky, man. What I want to say, I say men lie, lie, numbers don't lie, right?
But these numbers can be deceiving.
No. Listen. I'm gonna be clear of this, right? I'm gonna say here's my disclaimer. This is not nothing overclocked. This is not nothing. This is just out of the box what you get, Dave. When I can't even find the thumbnail, but in the thumbnail, it was me and D, me on one side, D on the other side, and Scorpio in the middle. I was gonna do the breakdown with him, but that then D came out with the CUDA cores and the 4K accents and all that stuff. I just fell back for one, and I've been sitting on it for a while. Where is it? I'm gonna show you. That's how long I've been holding this, right? I think I'm jogging. Wait, what the hell is it, man? I had a thumb. Look at the date on the thumb because I had the thumbnail made. What the hell is it? Jesus Christ. I'll find it. But anyway, no, I'll find it. But no, I'll find it. But anyways, me on one side, D on the other side, and it's the we're still calling the Scorpio. That the Scorpio in the middle, right? Here we go, right here. See this? This was the thumbnail I was going to use for the video, right? Project Scorpio. For these here specs that I have right here. You guys can see the thumbnail?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Go closest. All right. I can say many things. He said next you call me many things. Everything but next gen is not a liar. Now I understand. This can be some certain things can be up clock, down clock, what setting, low setting. I'm just talking about stock out of the box. I ain't talking about MSI. You got the GT. Nah, I'm talking about out of the box. Now listen, Mash, I know you're more of a PC guy. Now I will remind you this is a drug-free show, and I will have to question your integrity. Mash, you my man.
I knew it was coming.
You my man. Hey, Mash, you my man, but anybody can get it. I would hate to question your integrity, okay?
Don't. Go ahead.
Now, can you please go with what these numbers mean in retrospective, okay?
Again.
So the Pro, niggas, again, to the 1060, to the 1070, and to the RX 580. Talk to me.
Okay. Again.
I understand what Matt said.
Right. You know what I'm saying, right? Look, here's the problem with this list. Here's the problem. For the numbers that are higher, the numbers that are lower, all that moves one way or the other. This list is comparative depending on you saying, all of these are running with the Xbox One X's CPU, RAM, all that configuration. That's not going to be the case because the Xbox One X is a closed APU environment.
I understand all that.
So these numbers don't tell me what's going to run what.
It's theoretical too. The
theoretical.
300.
Listen
I
here.
can't tell you the X.
Listen here, Heath.
In the game like Doom, let's say Doom. Doom is designed so that it can run on a potato at 1,000 frames per second.
Your Honor, I request that this is a hostile witness here. I didn't say. Listen, this is not nothing overclock. I'm talking
about stock. I'm talking about stock. If I pair this with 16 gigs DDR5 at 3200,
okay, here's it. I'm gonna say this again, right?
I will say this. I will say this. I will say this, Z. In terms of the memory bandwidth, X does have the advantage over
every time. Every time.
The 60, the 70, and the 580, because even though the 1060, the 1070, and the 580, and the reason why I say that, because even if the 326 gigabytes per second memory bandwidth is theoretical, which it is, because the real world performance they've been able to max it out was 285 gigabytes per second. So that's what Microsoft said they was able to max it out at. But depending on, and this all depends on the software too, you probably can, through more optimization, get it up to that 326. But even at 285 gigabytes per second, which Microsoft themselves maxed out, it still supersedes the
other question.
But
another question.
Hey, Baz, you see?
Shader core.
I knew what his ass would do.
Shader core.
Negro.
What is a shader? Big. Could you explain to the audience what is a shader core? What is this about? Here, talk to me, please. Shader core. What is this about? What is this? What is the shader core used for?
Okay. I'm gonna break down.
I would like to remind these that they are under oath here.
Break down each individual.
Okay, no, shader core. What is this used
shader
for?
core is the shader models. That's all for distinct variants for how do I say it? Like certain pixel positions, bitmap variations are all dependent on shader I guess variety. So you have a shader that's dynamic that follows the person around. You have a shader that's set for a differential point in time, and you got different values for each individual position within the bitmap structure. So the more cores, the higher your fill rate.
All right. So so it's better to have more cores, shader cores.
Everything is better to have more of.
Oh, okay. All right. TMU.
But
what does it stand for?
This is all theoretical. So
I understand. What does TMU stand for?
Like they exist. That doesn't mean they're all on.
I understand that.
What does they're all enabled? Like that's why.
Your Honor.
Listen,
please instruct the witness to answer the question. What does TMU stand for?
You are not going to get me to say what you trying to get me to say.
I'll ask you a question.
It's not gonna happen.
What does TMU stand for? That's all I asked you.
Because I respect my own integrity. I'm not about to do it.
Hey, bro,
it's a texture mapping unit.
Right. Texture mapping.
It's a texture mapping unit, so it's able to rotate, resize, and distort a bitmap image.
Right.
To be placed onto like an arbitrary plane or 3D model or something like that.
You're wrapping the texture around a pixel, more or less.
So would you agree that to have more of this team was better?
Sure, if they're on.
I
just said more is always better. It's always better. That is a true statement across the board.
What's going on?
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Higher number is always better.
We're gonna send this off
across the board. Higher number is always better.
Right?
This boy Z.
Damn, I swear to God, boy, this dude.
And now listen, man. I fell back for a while. They said they want their old next gen back, man. Some things I just said. and that whole. Now I could have came out and slapped my man, what's his name, Rags across the head with the hockey stick last year, but you know, how long as they talking about me? You know, he did a half-hour documentary about me, and then what I've always said again. Listen, I'm gonna be clear. This all jokes aside, right? If you go back to the video I did a question, right? And they, you know, do I say little things over for entertainment? Yes, I do. But the underlying what I was saying, right, is that the Project Scorpio, it will outperform a lot of people gaming rigs. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. You know what I mean? I don't understand what that's so, you know, taboo, this, that, and the other. And then again, you know, when Steve, I understand that everybody doesn't take these Steam or these Valve surveys. When you was it 2% or 3% of people, of the gamers, that all these, you know, can play actual games in 4K. So out of the box, say if the just say if the Xbox One X sells 1 million units, right, in for 2017, right, whatever, 1 million, 500,000 in November, 500,000 again. That's already more people are playing in native 4K on consoles than there's on PC. They took the survey. I mean, that's fair to say. You say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
But 100%, it's a lot of dudes out here lying on their PCs.
I understand that.
Straight up and down lying.
You had a guy.
If anybody ever in their life, if you see anybody ever in their life in any comment section or on Facebook and Bang Bang, any of the groups you in, whatever, if they ever say, yo, I can get all my Xbox games on my PC, and then they start talking about how they play multi-plats on PlayStation, you a fraud. Straight up and down, you a fraud.
And I don't understand, how can you get, I know
if you can play Xbox games, because a lot of these games outside of Forza have ridiculous restraints for how they run well. Not just run, because you can run with a lot of stuff, but run well. If you can run them on, you have a PC that's capable of running them, you ain't playing no multi-plats on PS4.
Can I ask you a question, Miles?
What's up?
Can you get Sunset Overdrive on the PC?
No.
Can you get Rise on the PC?
Yeah, Rise.
Yes. Rise. Yeah. Can you get Halo 5, the whole experience on the PC? Well, some Xbox games you can't get on the PC. So stop with this notion that you can get every. And I know what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, well, the one that matter, and the Halo 5 campaign doesn't matter because we played more. It's still a game. The multiplayer come with the campaign. The campaign come with the multiplayer. We're talking about the whole game. I know they're gonna, and it's not even Halo 5 MP. It's Forge.
Listen, I'll say it again. Shout out to my brother Griffin Gaming, man. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, man. Just stick around. We're gonna have some fun. Listen, I'm gonna say this again, right? We're gonna listen. I got about 180 some odd people here. Thank you again for rocking out. Well, hit the like button, right? But this is what you want. I try to be humble. I try to be nice, right? A lot of things I can put to bed, but I let people talk. I let sometimes people hang themselves because I really don't care, right? I know everyone doesn't have a high, he's a $12,000 PC. I had a guy for about 2 years dedicate his channel to me with collabs and $12,000 PC. I thought it was the funniest thing in the world, right? He with a slanted roof, with a hammer in the back and pitchy sheets, you know what I mean? And he was gaming on a 560, you know what I mean? This was like, what, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago? I understand that everyone doesn't have a high-end PC. What are they gonna say? Well, not everyone took. I didn't take that survey. I'm for those that took the survey, right? That's all that I'm saying. And if you look at the, like you say, the numbers there of gamers that are actually gaming in 4K with all of them, it's very low. Now I understand there are millions and millions. There are more. Like, I won't even call them gaming PCs because a lot of people go to Walmart and get an e-machine and play a Dota game. It doesn't take a lot of
facts.
Or to have to boot up. You know, a lot of people just playing Minesweeper, whatever they're into. You know what I mean? I understand that, right? But if you can put this in perspective, there's not one GTX whatever or R80 ever that outsold the Xbox One particular card. You understand what I'm saying? Whether it's the 580 to 680, those are not selling tens and millions of cards. They're not. You know what I mean? But again, I'm not knocking those, and I shouldn't even have to say this disclaimer. I really don't understand it why PC guys or gamers want to interject themselves into a console conversation. To me, that in itself is just mind baffling to me.
Stupid too, because if you can't constantly call yourself the PC master race and that the consoles will never be able to eclipse y'all, which is true, then you shouldn't even entertain the conversation, because you should consider yourself in a whole nother league.
And this is, you see why, like, just like y'all was talking about, I'm a PC guy. Nobody knows that, because when we have these conversations about Xbox and PlayStation, I talk about Xbox or PlayStation because my PC will eat them both alive. Every PC in my house will eat them both alive. The X and the Pro combined form Voltron. My PCs, every single one, my kids' PC, my wife's PC, they will all eat them alive.
What I don't understand,
I keep the conversation about what we're talking about. Everybody want to interject because they feel like they're left out of the conversation. They were like, mine is better. I'm over here. Okay, I already know mine is better. But when we talk about Xbox versus PlayStation, I'll have the conversation about Xbox versus PlayStation.
Look, if I knew that the X was going to create this much discussion amongst different gamers, it is crazy. I mean, we didn't get this type of stuff with the Pro at all. We didn't even get did you have constant websites building PCs to match the Pro, or did all that? Did the PC? What was the PC master race when the Pro was announced and Sony said that they was going after the PC market? Did they flip a wig like they doing with the X there? I didn't see it. I mean, can somebody point me to it or show me the discussion that was taking place when the Pro was announced?
It's funny. That's why it was funny to me sitting back and watching, because if you go back to when the Pro was coming out, everybody was like, yeah, I'm going to buy a 4K TV right now. It's a, I'm already in the realm of upgrading, and the Pro is just going to give me that value that I needed to upgrade. So I'm finally going to upgrade. You getting a Pro? Yeah, I'm getting a Pro. It's 4K gaming on the console. How can you not do that? The Xbox announced the Xbox One X, and it's actually doing 4K in games. And they was like, well, you need a 4K TV. Well, it'll super sample. Well, you need a 4K TV. Well, I don't know about getting a 4K TV just to play the Xbox One X. So I don't know if I'm going to get me an Xbox One X. You were going to buy them 6 months ago, or 8 to 9 months ago, when they were twice the price. But right now you can get a 4K TV with 10-bit HDR for $400 and some change, and now all of a sudden it's too much money. Get out of here.
Yeah. Like I said, at the end of the day, I had to bring the facts. Yeah. The facts.
We talking.
Right. Don't forget about that fatal 4-way that's coming up. 108 Dragons TV, 2 ponies, fatal 4-way.
Hold up, y'all.
2 on 2, baby.
Skinny Eastwood. Look, now I just got a disclaimer from K Mega. He said he pulled the toe, or he got injured. Hold up, what's K Mega talking about now? Hold up. Oh Lord, let me see. Hold on. All right. He said he can't do it this Thursday. It'll be the following Thursday. We reach out to Jabari. So K Mega, that's even better. Too much in 1 week. K Mega will debate Jabari next Thursday, 8:30. Friday we got One Stop for Gamers versus Post Up in the debate.
One Stop for Gamers getting destroyed by Post Up in the debate.
Now,
say it correctly.
These are the facts.
Yeah, I'm doing this for the Xbox community. He wanted his head on the planet for a long time, so I'm about to give it to y'all.
Y'all make sure y'all bring flowers, and y'all wreath. Bring the crying lady and a nice pine box for that man
in the chat to speak on the eulogy, to read the eulogy.
Right. Let's come to the funeral. Wear all black. But come to that man funeral, because it's gonna be epic how Post just destroys that man.
So that's tomorrow. I mean, that's gonna be Friday at 8:30, and then Saturday, Super Jamaican is supposed to debate Maz. But anyway, like I said, if you guys enjoyed today's show, if you're just tuning in, go back to the beginning of the show. These guys did an awesome job. I'll give them around breaking down the specs of the Xbox One X was in there and what the developer was saying, and I came with the facts at the end. I've been holding that stuff for a long time. But no, I mean, I've been holding that stuff for a long time. You know what I mean? But anyway, like I said, I can't wait. We got 1 week, more or less, before the Xbox One X gets here. I I heard, I don't know. I heard GameStop is giving $200 if you got the Xbox One S or something.
Yeah, I just saw a flyer where it said up to I think 40%, something like that.
I'm gonna trade mine in. I don't know. I got it just sitting here. I was gonna put it in the front room, but I don't know. They give me $200 for it. They can take it. I get some. I don't know. I get something with a headset. You know, I love them headsets. I get something with. If they're going, I don't know. What is this, a flyer you could have or something?
No, it ain't a flyer you gotta have. I just saw a post.
Well, send me the post. You can find send it to me. I
gotta go back and bang. It's somewhere.
All right.
Bang. Hold on.
Like I said again, before we get up out of here, ladies and gentlemen, follow us on Twitter. You guys got to post, man. Put your channel in the chat. Follow the Broadband Billy's Twitter account if you were interested in debating, whatever the case may be. You know, rocking out with us, live streaming your team against ours. Also, to listen, Saturday now. Let's start the week of the 7th. We're gonna have a 2K league, Madden league, for those that are in the Forza, for those that are in the Halo, for those that are in Gears of the top games. We're gonna be running that here with, like I said, Broadband Bullies. Each one's gonna be in charge of a game. Again, we're reaching out to you guys, doing it for the culture. That should be dope. You know what I mean? You might find a good game to the game. Maybe even get some Rocket League on, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm gonna leave the link right here to the Broadband Bullies. So if you're interested in doing that, partaking in that. Also, too, we need writers for the website. You know, if you're good in writing articles or reviewing games, tech, get at us. That's the Twitter account right there. What else I got to say? If you want to get down and support what we got going on, you know, being on the website, some of the debates and stuff. Here you go, the Patreon. We appreciate it, my man. We just got a new Patreon just now as we've been doing the show.
The merch. Broadband Bullies merch. You get everything from a laptop bag, t-shirt, you get leggings for your lady, whatever it is. Get on that, man. They look fire. Trust me, they look flames.
Well,
that way too, bro. You trying to get down, trying to look the bully part. Get on that merch store, man.
Let's see, what else we got? Anything else? Let me see. That's it, right? Website. Oh, we got a giveaway.
Yeah.
Star Wars Battlefront 2.
All you have to do is I don't know why they got us displaying this mature content, but I don't know what the hell that's about. But I'm gonna leave the link for the merch. You just if you enter, just click on it, and it's gonna say if you want to display mature content. You gotta hit Hey, my man. Hey, what's up, Reagan? Hey, you got the red hoodies up there, man. They got everything you need up there.
Yeah.
The link right there. They got everything you need up there.
They got hoodies. They got jackets too, like the hoodie jackets.
Yeah, bro. They got throw pillows. They got whatever you trying to get down on, man. Trust me, we got it up there for you. Got phone cases, the whole 9. Trust me.
Actually, let me share. Hold on, hey, people leave. Let me share the screen. I'll show you some of the stuff right quick. Shameless plug. Look, they gotta do that. Like I gotta get mine. I told you I sent them out to the guys on the we got this comes in. We got the black one. This is unisex. We got them in gray, but we're gonna change the style. I like this one right here. Hold up. I like that what you call it, like that long T-shop joint, like the baseball joint. See, is this it right here? No, this might not be.
Are you trying to get the baseball quarter sleeve?
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah,
quarter sleeve.
Yeah, I like this one right here. I like that.
Yeah,
that's
like fire.
Yeah, that joint. Yeah, that joint.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. Coming all colors. I'm gonna get me one of those, and we can get like 2 of those. What else I like? I like they got them. See, let's go to the hoodies, sweatshirts. They got sweatshirts. And they got. I like the sweatshirt too. Let's step my game up. They got the sweatshirts. What else they got here? Let's see what the hoodie looking like. Oh, I want the one with the zipper. They got the hoodies. These coming 3X. Let me see. Pullover hoodie. Zipper. Let me see what the zipper joint look like. I like that. That great joint. Yeah, that's that Broadband Bully. I like that. They got phone cases and everything in here too, man. You name it, man. They got it.
Got everything you can think of in there, man.
Oh, look at that V-neck. Oh, come on, you want to. Money, I'm gonna front you. Girl, I really want you. I'm always want you, but nobody wants you. If you die now, my love, but still want you. You know what I mean? That's how we doing it, though. You know what I mean? Broadband Bully.
Take that.
All in the videos. If you tired of next gym being all in the videos, I got bubble mail. Taking all. No, I'm using man. See the following left you a note. Oh, somebody said crap gamer. Great style. Was looking for the Broadband Bullies T-shirt. Anonymous. All right, thank you. All right, shout out to you. All right, but listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for rocking out. And my man here, Mr. Reed, appreciate you for signing up with the Broadband Bullies.
Thank you.
Patreon.
Patreon, I appreciate it, my man. So everybody in the comment, hit the like button, man. Thank you for rocking out today.
We appreciate y'all, man.
I didn't expect to get this long, but again, it's always fun and a pleasure to do these shows. And if anybody say anything to me, I'm Mr. Last singing 112 song, sick name though. We needed Broadband Bullies emoji. More on that too. We need when is the BGS movie coming out? We got flagged down. They took us down, man.
Yeah, we tried to.
Yo, that's a whole other story.
I might get that story. I might put that exclusive.
It might have to be a Patreon exclusive because YouTube was like, nope.
Yeah,
we was just a little ways into it, and YouTube was like, nope. So
if we tell a story, y'all gonna be cracking up.
Actually, no, I know that's what I may do on the road because you know I got 1,000 stories to tell, right? I might start putting some of the behind the scenes stories exclusively on the Patreon and leaving them there, and just leaving them there. A Resurrection 09. The BGST tomorrow is gonna be tomorrow at 7. Unfortunately, you know what I mean. But he said one stop still alive. Yeah, he coming back out of the woods. But thank you guys for rocking out with us. He said, post up, please expose them. Yeah.
Yeah. Trust.
Look.
Light work.
Look, bro. Like, I'm not new to this. I've been debating since I was in grammar school. I do this. I do my research. I do my homework. I'm not just gonna take this lightly. Z want me to put his body bag in the body bag. I'm gonna get it done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we gonna do. You know, that's how we get down.
Trust. Don't get it twisted just because we ain't been saying it, but everybody bends the knee to the Broadband Bullies. Everybody. You come, you get down, or you get laid down. Period.
Bend the knee.
I got a store in the city. They ain't one stop.
What's up, Fire?
Go.
All right.
He gonna change his name to Stop and Go in a minute.
Stop and Go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're entertained tonight, hit the like button, man. It's 160 y'all in here. 61. I should have 161 likes, man. It was a good show tonight, man. I appreciate it, man. Thank you all, man. Post up, paid in full.
Appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Cypher, man, what's going on, baby? We'll catch you guys later on, man. Thank you. Janelle, Maya calling you. All right.